Hello, guys. What's going on? This is Mahalohalo and then some. I am your host, Tony Lopez. Today, we do not have my co-MC, Lepa Leps. She is running some family errands, but we do miss you, girl. But we have a great show today. I had a really eventful day. I had a couple meetings today, and as a realtor, I kind of run around town and just hung out with a client and showed some property. But, being here in studio, it's a little bit more exciting because I get to talk to you guys. And today's show is about many hats. So it's very fitting I'm wearing my hat. We have a special guest today, a friend of mine, and a woman also who wears many, many hats. I mean, more than you can imagine, but is a master of most of them. I can't say all. Can we say all?
Probably say 90%.
All right. Well, like everybody else and other women, whether you're a mom or business person or entrepreneur, artist, we all try to maintain a sense of responsibility for each job or each hat we wear. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you guys Miss Aileen.
Hey!
Also known as De la Isla.
De la Isla.
Okay. So we invited Aileen here to kind of chat about the many hats that we wear as women. Like, one, introduce yourself, and we go back in the performer and artistry world, but I want to get to know you a little bit deeper in what you do on a daily. Like, what hats are you wearing right now?
Let's see. I'm actually wearing the Chill Vibe hat today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wearing the Chill Vibe hat today. Normally, when I'm at home, I take that time to just focus on myself, like doing monologues with acting, working on my music, cleaning up like the OCD crazy person that I am, being a mom, gonna be a grandma.
No.
Yes. So
congratulations. When is he or she due?
Oh, the little peanut is like 2 months old. So
nice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how exciting.
I know. Super exciting.
She doesn't even look more than what? A day over 25, 26.
Oh, you've only... No, me?
Oh,
yeah, girl. Yeah.
So let's talk about it. How do you feel? I mean, you have a lot of things going on as far as, your artistry. I know that she has performed Selena on stage.
Yeah.
She came to Mahalohalo as Aaliyah. Wait a minute. Let me revisit that day. So here I am, front stage. I'm watching the majority play and, they're doing their thing. And I look to the side. I was like, there's this lady. She looks all mysterious, vixen-y. And I'm looking, I'm like, I know her. And then 5 minutes later, of course I do. It's you.
I actually went up to Palepa and I was like, excuse me, ma'am, are you the MC? And she goes, yes, I am. And I'm like, I want to know how much you charge.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen Palepa in over a year.
Yeah.
And she kind of just looks at me and she's like, and I'm like, hello. And I pull my glasses down because I have the dark shades on.
Yep, you have the Aaliyah vibe.
I'm like, hi, Palepa. She goes, do I know you? I'm like, it's Lee.
Oh,
I'm like, I literally was on. She's like, Lee.
You know what? I looked at you. I was like, I know her. It's just the energy. But then you fooled me, girl.
Yeah.
And then she came to the after party, and then she did a switch up, and she did an all white Aaliyah.
All white.
It was all right, girl. All white. But I appreciate that because it was a 90s vibe and she came correct. You just showed up. And you're like, I'm going to surprise these girls.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Well, you said 90s vibe and I was like, oh, well, I always do Selena. I'm like, let me do Aaliyah. I was thinking between Aaliyah and Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
Right.
But I'm like, I always need to feel like I'm in the vibe. It helps me get out of the house.
Right.
Because I'm such an introvert.
Yeah.
So I will be like, okay, I'm not going. Oh my God, I'm the total Grinch. I have nothing to wear.
I want to see your closet and see what's in there.
You know what? My closet is not half the lady she used to be. I feel like after I separated, I literally just stopped having all the stuff that I did and kind of just was like, I don't need all this crap. I can just make my own stuff.
Minimize.
I minimized.
Yeah.
So I'm lying, but I minimized.
Girl, you said beep boop. Beep boop.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't know this, that Aaliyah was going to be in The Matrix, and then she ended up passing and all of that happened. So I kind of got stuck with The Matrix Aaliyah. And I'm like, so let me do a little bit of Matrix Aaliyah. And then I switched it up and I'm like, all right, now we're going to do the Timberlands. I didn't have my Timberlands that
No,
day, though.
you were amazing. And you know what? This lady is definitely the epitome of what wearing many hats is, because she not only has her own business of, masseuse. She's a masseuse by day, but also she's running, her performance and her artistry. And she's also now going back into the acting world.
Yeah.
So tell us about what your goals are this year or this upcoming year.
I'm a pretty free spirit. I just kind of like take whatever's coming at me, and if it doesn't work out, I don't even get upset about it. Life is too short for that, and I move on to the next thing.
Right.
One of the things I like to do is perfect my art. A lot of artists, they have downtime. If you're in the studio and you have some downtime, like that's where you need to be working on your new stuff or your old stuff and making it new. That's how you become better. I mean, I've been in the entertainment industry for, I want to say, since I was 15 years old.
Right.
That's when I started. I went to Barbizon School of Modeling.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yep,
and John Robert Powers.
Right.
Back in the day, those were the things.
Names.
Yep, with the short girls. Remember the short girls? Because everybody, if you didn't have a long set of legs and you weren't over, 5'6" or 5'7", you weren't going to be anything else. But I took that as, okay, let me just keep trying. Let me just keep going. Let me just keep trying. Let me just keep going. And every time I wanted to quit, I get mad at myself, and because I get mad at myself, I'll just continue to work even harder to perfect my art.
Let's talk about, the industry. I know, there's a lot of competition, especially here in Las Vegas. But, what is your, what have you learned to kind of your niche, and what works and what doesn't work for you, especially women of, like us that are brown, right? We're over here like, okay, we can only play so many parts or certain things, but how do you feel, now that you've experienced it all?
Well, the industry has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Now, being a woman of color is actually a thing. The more ancestry stuff you have in your bloodline, the more people want you because they consider you exotic. Back then, I wasn't considered exotic. I was considered the mixed girl.
Right.
But now it's like you have so much more opportunities.
Absolutely.
I think like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube has become a diverse world, which I'm a little bit old school. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to doing stuff like that, which I should be doing more stuff. That's probably why I don't have as much followers, because I'm more of a, I'm going to do it, I'm going to present it, I'm going to be there.
Right.
And I know that the younger audience does that more. They spend more time. But then the younger audience don't have businesses to run.
Right.
They don't have bills to pay, especially if they have supporting parents. So it's much easier when you can spend 10, 15 hours editing and doing stuff like that versus like, I'm going to work on it when I can.
No, that's absolutely right. So, I mean, I speak to the old school. You still need that the in-person capabilities. And a lot of people, the youngers have it, but, they're so used to being in front of the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm not generalizing. I think that's just kind of like a standard comment. But what else are you working on as far as your artistry? Are you working on music? Because I know you also write.
Yes, I actually work with Izzy Dub. I believe you've met him. He's by himself, and he's also from Mahalohalo. So me and Izzy have been friends for years, and he's the one who's kind of like pushes me out of the shell to work on my stuff. I've had a little bit, issues with my throat sometimes, where like I get sick too often because of the weather, but. Yeah, I have some stuff. I got some stuff there. I got some stuff to send you. Yeah. I'm my worst critic, I think.
I think everyone's that way, especially when it comes to art. I'm the same way, when it comes down to a production or, doing certain things, you are definitely your worst critic. But, let's touch on that. Let's make sure that, we support each other as women and, small business and artists. We want to make sure we're encouraging of each other's art and pushing each other to release it.
Yeah.
We often stay in the box or in our rooms to make sure like, it's for a later time, but when are you going to release this new art, this new song, or this new project? So, being your own worst critic sometimes hinders you from growth, right?
It really does. Another thing is sometimes I don't get to what I got to do because I'm very involved in the youth community.
Right.
And I'm involved with other things going around, like with the community, with the Polynesian community, with the Filipino community. I work with kids at UNLV, Upward Bound program.
Nice.
I teach ballroom. I have a glee class. I teach flexibility. So sometimes I'm so focused on my kids that I put all my stuff to the side because I'm going through the week finding out what I'm going to do for them.
Yes.
And then when I get to class, because I teach on Saturdays, I'm like, oh, crap. I didn't work on this. I should have done this and I should have done that, because I'm constantly inspiring my kids to grow from their art or find what they're good at.
But that keeps you present too, because a lot of artists also are in our heads of like what we can do better and how can we, but being able to implement it right away and actualize the projects and the artistry is actually, an outlet. You gotta put it on paper, but you also have to execute, right? Otherwise, it kind of gets, it's kind of in your repertoire, and you don't see it until later. And you're like, oh, I was working on this. I should have released it, right? So, but yeah, you do wear many hats. What else do you do?
I have a small catering company. It's called De La Isla's Kitchen, and it's a little bit of Latino food, some Dominican food and some Polynesian food. I would like probably later to add Filipino food. I will send you... my niece made like this incredible logo. It's so cute. It has the Asian islands and the Dominican islands and the Polynesian islands, and they're all together. And it also has like their native flowers. I thought it was really cool because I'm so diverse.
Yeah.
And I know that I don't want to be stuck with one thing. Like what I notice a lot in Vegas, that now that we're going to go back to entertainment and food at the same time.
Of course, yeah.
People stay in the same spot. Like, well, this is working for me, so I'm just going to sell tacos.
Comfortability.
Yeah, and I'm just going to sell, and that's great. But the world has changed, you know? Like, I love that there's vegan tacos because I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah.
So as much as I used to love tacos, I can't go to your taco stand and support you, because I'm going to say, can I have a quesadilla?
Right.
So if you can offer regular tacos and vegan tacos and be like, hey, I'm adding this to my menu and I'm going to try it out. That's the same thing with like being an actress or being an artist in anything.
Right.
You got to switch it up sometimes,
Yeah, sprinkle it with some, newness and some magic and, innovate. The process of creating is endless. And I think, I vibe with you a lot because as far as your energy, you say you're an introvert, but once you're on a one-on-one conversation, you're able to see the depth of who you are and what you want to bring out from your creativity. So I appreciate that. So let's talk about being a mom. How do you juggle it all with, you being mama and about to be a grandma? Like, I know. Is it glamma? I don't know.
It's
People
glamma.
say it's glamma.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They better my kids call me glamma. Yeah. There's no way I'm going to be called grandma.
Okay.
I've always been very committed to my kids, no matter what.
Right.
I let them do their own thing because my kids are very creative, especially, my youngest, Bethany, and I've always pushed him to follow their own path. First of all, put God first in anything, because that's the only way that you're going to have a good path, especially if you're a believer.
Right.
And family always comes first. We've been through some pretty tough times. Like this time of year is really, really hard for us.
Yeah.
I did lose my daughter in 2019, and this is going to be 4 years. So I've always tried to keep my daughters all united, but my biggest fans were my kids.
Right.
Like, we're best friends, and they support me so much in everything that I do. So for me, just like, I feel like I've always been a mom. I grew up in a big family. I've always been a mom.
So it's already an established.
It's already an established. Like, I can drop everything that I'm doing. Like, people go, there is no way I can see you as a mom.
Right.
And then the moment that they see me in mom mode, they're like, whoa.
Right.
We didn't know that it was like that. Like, I get serious and I become the drill sergeant.
Yes. Because you got to keep them all in line, but also with love, right?
Yeah.
It's so weird, right? When you're an artist, can be a chameleon of sorts, where in your artistry you can be fun and vibrant, and then boom, you're a mom, and you're like, all right, serious, this is a different world, but same world.
Well, my kids grew up in my world, though.
Right.
That's because their dad, he does illusions for magicians. Like, we've been around entertainment since they were born.
Okay.
So this is not something that's new to them.
Right.
Like I had, my daughter Kimberly, that God rest her soul, she was very introverted, but she helped me make costumes.
Right.
She helped me, do face painting. She helped me with, like, my kids. Then I have my daughter Bethany, who has taken on the many hats as mama.
She's amazing.
Yeah, so she teaches, she dances, she sings, and now she's also acting as well. Right. And for them, it's like something that's not out of this world, because they grew up with me being a musician, being a model, being everything, and then being a mom.
Right.
At the same time. So it's for what is odd for other people, and it's not normal for other people. For us, it's normal. Just like, your kids grew up in that environment. So they know when you're being the amazing mom that you are. And then when you kind of have to be like, if you don't stop, I'm going to turn this car around. Yeah.
I love that. So they've seen you evolve. They've seen your many, different stages of artistry, and that's beautiful. And, it's fun to share it with them.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, nobody else understands it better than the people in my circle.
Exactly.
So, and I know that you had your daughter, she passed away 4 years ago, but how do you cope now? Like, is it through your artistry, or is it just like she's always with you, obviously? I know that must be, like, really difficult.
I think that I've always been able to cope, just because I kind of had to put myself, I did, take a lot of therapy for that, but I think I felt like I needed to grieve on my own times.
Of course.
And my daughters were not like me. Like, I was open to, going to groups and understanding what it is to have someone pass and lose them, where with them it was very difficult. Even at this time, they really don't like to bring certain stuff up. They still talk about her as if she's present. Right. Not in the past tense. And I think that God has helped me get through so much.
Of course.
And in the oddest way, people who have lost their children, God always sends them my way. Through massage, me being a massage therapist, I've encountered so much loss.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize how much loss there was out there. And the fact that I don't break down, in front of people, and I'm able to talk about it, and I'm able to talk about loss, and I'm able to let them cry.
Right.
I think that I'm not going to say I don't grieve. I just grieve privately.
Right. And I think that's so important. We have, people that are listening right now. You might have lost somebody, or just going through maybe a separation or a detachment or something. I think it's so important to self-heal and turn to your faith, whether you're a believer of Jesus Christ or anything else. It's just really important to be in that moment, feel it, and understand what is it that I have to get through, rather than like being busy, because the many hats can, distract you from really being in your emotions. And as an artist, of course, the creativity flows out. I tend to write, or I journal, or I draw, or it's a sense of releasing. If you don't cry, then it's something to talk about. If you don't want to go to therapy, it's helpful, right?
Yeah, there's different ways. I feel like I do think that everybody who has lost someone, you should find some form of therapy. Yeah. Or I call it some free form, or some freedom. Because that person's never going to leave your life.
Of course.
Their life has just stopped, and your life has kept going. And a lot of people don't grieve. And they don't want to grieve.
Right.
So it makes it difficult for people around them who love them to help them, you know, or you have people who don't know how to help them. I always get I'm so sorry. And, I kind of have to tell people, it's okay, you don't have to tell me that you're sorry. Right. It's something that happens in life.
Right.
And I think we just got used to I'm so sorry for your loss.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, so, that's a beautiful way of putting it, because I was speaking to, actually, I'm going to bring it up because MC Lepa, she also lost a very dear and close cousin. Yeah. And that's why she will be making her way to SoCal. But we love you, Leps.
We love you.
And we were speaking about that. I said, even if at your darkest times and you're grieving and somebody calls you or doesn't call you because they're like, oh, we wanted you to grieve. It's like, no, please call me. I want to remember who I just lost. And I want to be able to do that with somebody that knew them as well. So when I lost my father, it was, really heavy, and you don't know that pain until you go through it.
Exactly.
And when people were calling, I was like so elated because we were talking about the funny times, the memories, and just goodness of life rather than like, oh, I'm so sorry. So you're absolutely right. Like if you lose somebody, it's harder to accept it if you're just by yourself. It's nice to have family and friends.
I think for me, it was the total opposite. People didn't want to call me.
Right.
People didn't want to talk to me because normally I'm the person that everyone calls for advice.
Right.
And people didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And then I would gather myself up and I would say, you don't have to say anything. Sometimes you can just text me and tell me, hey, can I pray for you?
Right.
Because everybody takes grief differently.
Yes.
And one of the things that I have seen that is Polynesian, Asian, Filipino community and Latin community is that our family does not teach us how to grieve.
We're afraid of emotion.
Yes. Yeah. And they just go on like nothing has happened. And sometimes they just go on like that person does not exist because they feel like it's too painful to bring that person up. One of the things that I taught my daughters like the first year, I said, I know that Kimberly's not here. I said, but she loved Halloween. Right. So we're going to decorate her grave Halloweenish. Okay. She loved horror movies, so I'm going to watch horror movies. You girls are going to grieve differently, but I don't want you to shut out the light that was Kimberly.
That she was,
because we don't have to let her go. We're never going to let her go. But there's things that should remind us, and then there's things that are too painful. For the people that don't know how to grieve, I think it's important to join a grief group.
Right.
And it's important to be around other people that been through the same thing or similar.
Right.
So, I can tell you lost your dad, I lost my daughter, different ways of grieving.
Absolutely.
But I can hold your hand, and I know that now it's an easier time that we can talk about the amazing people that they were in our life, and it doesn't hurt us, not to someone who's new to grieving and just lost someone.
Right. And I think the importance of sisterhood too is that there's no judgment of how you grieve. You know, you can cry on my shoulder, we can have snot boogers running down her face, and that's okay. And or we can just sit together in silence and just be in each other's company and know that, hey, I got you. Like, grieving is an interesting way. They should have, classes or something.
Oh, they do. They do. I go to Central. We have grief group on Saturdays at 3 p.m. So a lot of the times it's not, you just kind of talk to people in remembrance.
Right.
And the first thing that I did was I found this wonderful place called Adam's Place, and it was for kids because I was like, well, my daughter is not crying, like there must be something wrong with her. And they were like, yeah, kids don't grieve the way we do.
Exactly.
They're laughing, they're crying, they have their own, the way their brain works and our brain works is very different. So I took that to be like, I'm gonna give her space and let her, but just always remind her that we're always here, that her sister is always loved, and just remembering the good times when it's right.
When it's right. The timing is crucial because, you don't want to bring something up during a party and it's just like the height of excitement. You got to make sure you time it right. And
I've had bad experiences where I remember I went to a Christmas party to try to get out of it, and one lady said, oh, well, my cat just died, so I know how you feel. And I wanted to, slap her.
Right. You're like,
I'm like, you can't compare a cat. But I understood
the pain.
That she didn't experience what I was experiencing. Now, at the time I did. And at the time I just, wanted to knock the sister out.
Right.
But,
Don't let me take my hoops off. Girl, I could be your sister, or we can go to the streets. But I appreciate sharing that, because that's a big part of who you are and the beauty that radiates from you. And I think that's it's important to share what has happened in our life, especially as we evolve and progress in our journey. We want to share and make sure that people understand us for who we are today. You were an artist and a dancer and a performer 20 10 years ago, but who are we today, and how can we connect as the creatives that we are now and the parents that we are now. So appreciate that. All right, well, we're gonna go into the next segment.
Okay,
this is gonna be the one where we use our brain the different parts of our brain, different parts. If they work. Hold on.
I was going to ask you, have you ever taken a personality test and know what your personality trait is?
I have, yeah.
Do you know what you are?
I am an ENTJ.
Oh, yeah, you're out there.
Yeah, I'm completely
you're
out
extrovert.
there.
Yeah, I am an INFJ.
Yes. But the thing is, as I'm getting older...
It changes. You can be more than
change. And, it fluctuates. You're a butterfly. You evolve. But also, it depends on the season. Like, if I'm... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I want to be out there, like, I'll be out there, but it's most days I'm like, just tired.
Yeah.
Let me go to sleep. Well, today, did you have a specific point to that? Or
just because, since you were saying many hats, I've had people be rude and tell me, oh, you're a jack of all trades, but master of none.
Not true.
And I'm like, I've mastered a lot of my arts,
Right.
Like, I have so many certifications and, like, literally get sick of, I get bored and I'm like, okay, I got to try something new.
Right.
But as I was dealing with the grief, and as an artist, I would sit down and write songs. And I was talking to my kids in Glee Club last week about... Each song means something. When you're sad, you listen to a sad song. When you're happy, you listen to happy songs. When you're mad, you listen to mad songs, breakup songs. And I said, you have to put emotion into it. And the only way that you can find your emotion or understand yourself as an artist is find out what your personality trait is.
Right.
Because we don't understand, like, oh, why am I like this? Or why does this bother me? Or, maybe I do get under people's skin.
Right.
When I learned my personality trait and found out that my personality was like one out of I don't know how many people, which is super unique.
Yeah.
I started making changes in my life that helped me with my art.
Yes.
So now I know I can focus myself totally in my art, and I have absolutely no distractions because I found out what my personality trait is. So that makes a big difference.
Same. I think, like, as you understand, and I've done a lot of leadership courses and all of that stuff too. So you understand if you're one to take initiative, if you're a worker, if you're just one to like taking orders, and wherever you fall in the phylum of work. That's kind of where I navigate how I do certain things.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. You need to know who you are before you can
I believe
share,
so. I believe so because depression can really take over you.
Yeah.
And especially when you're dealing with certain things in life, whether it's grief or loss or a lot of us get really upset when we don't get a gig.
Right.
Or they pick someone better than us. And that's just the way the industry is.
Yeah.
And I've just learned, like, I'm just going to do it for fun. If they don't pick me, it's all good. I just move on to the next thing.
You put it out in the universe.
I
and
do.
If the universe comes back with a gift, then, hey, take it.
I
receive
do,
it, right? All right. Well, we're going to gift each other.
Let's gift each other.
Fun. All right. I'm going to start off with, what song am I going to do? So we're going to finish the lyrics.
Okay.
No, we're going to, the last word of the lyric, you come up with the next song. Okay, so the last word, then boom, you go into a next song, okay? Let's try it.
Okay.
I'm going to do candy-coated raindrops.
Oh, no.
Drops.
Drops. Ooh. Oh, no. Give me another song.
Okay. I believe the children are our future.
I'm so bad at this.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's so bad. I'm like literally having brain fog.
I'm so into you.
And lost it. No.
Oh my gosh. I'm singing all the hits.
You are singing all the hits.
My gosh.
I'm just trying to like pick up the last.
Okay, about what you Michael Jackson. Oh my gosh, I thought this was gonna go better. Cleo, you know how we're gonna have to cut? I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Okay, you start. You give me a song and I'll come up.
So I creep. Yeah, I just keep it on the down low.
Shorty got low. That's wrong because then now you gotta go back to low. All right, this was a fail, but actually no, it was a success. We got one song.
We got one song. We got one song.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate my listeners for coming in and tuning in with us today. You guys can watch us on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Spotify. This is Mahalohalo, LV, and then some with my special guest and friend Aileen.
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We love y'all. We love you, and best of luck in your new endeavors. Again, this is Mahalohalo, and then some. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
All right, check out everyone.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PA